everybody. That is if it's a good morning. I'm going to try and keep this video extremely short, straight to the point, precise, so you can all have a clear picture of what happened. If you follow me here, you know that whenever I write an article, I never really come back and explain myself. I never go back and, I don't backtrack. I just feel like I've put what I want to put out there. People are going to deduce what they want to deduce from it. People are going to debate on it. People are going to say what they want to say. It's not really my job to necessarily get in the midst of it. Because once a story is out there, I cannot go to every individual and try and change their mind about me. They're going to think what they want to think. But this is a different case, and I think it's important that I state some facts. So I'm just going to go straight to the point of what really happened. I wrote an article yesterday. Unfortunately, as always, people watched the video, they didn't read the accompanying article, so they formed an opinion based on just a video that was out there, which is fine. I mean, I'm a little used to it. First of all, we went to film in an area that has often been used to film movies. I remember before we got there, I asked the director, do we have permission to film here? Because as filmmakers, location is usually it's a struggle. Even if you have permits to film anywhere, somebody can just show up and say, I don't want you here. And even if you are within your rights, it's Ghana. There's nothing you can do. So I'm always very cautious of where we film. And when we went to film in Jamestown, I remember asking the director the same thing. Thankfully, we had wonderful policemen who, accompanied us so that nobody would, try anything funny. So when we went to film there, there's a police barrier. By law, from what I know, we are not supposed to cross that barrier, which we didn't. We're filming in front of the barrier. Just as we are filming, we are using a very old car because of the story that we are telling. And the car has lots of problems. So when we're filming, from nowhere, this car just drives up behind the car. A man jumps out of the car, starts banging on our car and says, what are we doing here? And my director explains that we are shooting, we are permitted to shoot here. This is where a lot of people, students do their production. We know that we are not supposed to go beyond the barrier, and that's why we've not gone there. Now, the other man that was with him was very understanding, but this guy was just aggressive from get-go. And thankfully, there were people, eyewitnesses there to see it. I was not there. I was actually sitting in the car watching what was going on with my other colleague. So I saw that, the people, my crew members had just given up. Sometimes you're not even in the mood for the back and forth, even if you're right. Sorry about that. You can see that this thing is about to escalate, so you choose to walk away. So the director said, you know what, I could see him saying, we should go. Then the lady tries to turn the car, but the car, like I said, is a rickety old car. The car stops. So she's struggling to turn and leave. And this man is just verbally abusing her, unprovoked. And you will see that in the video, there's a reason why the policeman standing there was quiet, because he knew that what the guy was doing was wrong. But he was almost powerless in the situation because this is a quote-unquote alleged national security person who probably has more authority than him. He starts banging on the car, insulting the girl. I mean, words that are triggers for any woman. Just started abusing, and still I was in the car just watching what was going on. I was like, you said this girl should leave. She's trying to leave, and you're banging on the car and insulting her for no reason. And the men in our crew were shouting at him that, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? And he was verbally abusing everybody. I still had not got involved. So when the girl was still trying to turn, the car stopped again, because I could tell that she was panicked, she was nervous. And it's normal to feel that way when you feel like you're under threat. You see, there's a way someone can threaten you. Someone can come in your face and be screaming and shouting. Without hitting you, it almost feels like he's about to lay hands on you. So this girl felt like she was under threat. She broke down and started crying. That's when I got down and I said, sir, you said the girl should leave. She's trying to leave. You're standing in front of the car, hitting her. Why? Because you said she's disrespectful. She's explaining to you that the car keeps stopping because she's nervous. Because every time she's trying to move the car, you're hitting the car, abusing her verbally. She's nervous. He starts saying, no, she's disrespectful. He's just going on and on. I said, no, don't do that. So he takes out his phone. Pay attention here. It is him. I didn't take out my phone. He took out his phone and started recording this girl who had broken down and was in tears because of his verbal assault. That's when I took my phone. And if you hear the video, I said we all have phones. We can also record. Then I started recording the incidents because my instinct immediately tells me that this thing is about to go out of hand. This man can do something to this girl and get away with it because there's no video evidence. So when I took my phone out, and throughout, again, I had not gotten involved. Everybody was screaming, shouting. You can hear the video. But when I took my phone out, now I don't know if you recognize me or not. I will not make presumptions on that. When I took out my phone and he saw that I was recording his verbal attack, and I don't even know why he thought it was okay to record himself verbally abusing another girl. Maybe it was for entertainment. But when he saw that I was recording his verbal attack, that's when he pounced on me. What you saw in the video was just, he pounced on me before, you just saw a bit of the video. Unfortunately, unfortunately, in that moment, you can't capture everything. But he pounced on me. And all the guys rushed at me and said, what's wrong with you? Why are you trying to beat me? You have a phone, you are recording. I'm within my rights to record you recording it. Then he pounces on me again 3 times, saying that he will beat me. Pay attention. And I know people really want me to be beaten up in Ghana. I'm sorry to disappoint you. The time has not come yet. But I know you were really, really hoping that it was true that he has slapped my face. Thankfully, my skin is still glowing and I'm good. But he pounced on me 3 times, saying, I will slap you. And I looked at him and I said, what gives you the right to slap me? He said he has the authority to slap me if he wants and beat me, and he can get away with it because no one can do anything to him, which is true because we live in a lawless country. We live in a country where if you know any big person, if you know all the right people, if you are connected to the right people, all you have to do is take up a gun, shoot somebody, and get away with it. We're in a country where people can barge into a courtroom and assault a court judge and still walk around. So I believed in that moment, and I was glad. The only thing that saved all of us yesterday was because I had my phone recording. So he wanted to beat my hand and beat the phone out of my hand, and I said no. You just said that you are going to, and it's unfortunate I didn't get that part, but thankfully I have witnesses who heard all of that. He said, I will beat you, I will slap you, I'll do anything to you. Nobody will do anything. I said, I know my rights. And I know you don't have the right to do that. If we are wrong, and then there was a policeman standing there. And I kind of feel sorry for the policeman because in that moment, he really was powerless. He knew we were right, but this is someone who probably knows all the right people with his walkie-talkie. So the policeman has to play, peacemaker and just be in the middle and not, get involved too much. So he tried to hit my hand, and in hitting my hand, he hit my hand really hard, and yeah, sorry about that. And my hand, got swollen, but I still managed to hold on, to my phone. And I said, if we are wrong, take us to the police station. It's just around the corner. Let them charge us for trespassing. If truly you have power, take us to the police station. Let us be charged and be done with. But he knew we had not done anything wrong. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew that he had not only tried to physically assault me, he had managed to physically, even if he hit my hand, that's physical assault. He knew he had verbally assaulted it. He knew that it was not even within his rights to tell us to move away from there. So why go to the police station and follow due process? He has to serve instant justice in that moment. So for all the stories going around that I was slapped, Again, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I was not slapped. I did not. The other misconception is I took out the phone to record somebody. I'm not an idiot. I will never record anybody. Even me, if I'm walking on the streets and someone takes the phone to record me, I'm offended. I will not record somebody for sport. But this person was recording a girl he had verbally assaulted, broken down, crying, and was doing it for sport. Mildly offense here is jumping in. I always say, he who sees any act of injustice and does not step up is worse than the offender. Mildly offense here is stepping up when I watch a fellow human being. It doesn't matter that she's a woman. I would have done the same for a man, a baby, a grandmother. It's stepping in to defend a fellow human being who was being verbally assaulted. Another security person came in there. When we explained to him, he said, you see, Ghana, when you are wrong, you see the confidence with which they will come for you. When you are right, they will double down. When his supervisors came in, they all said, it's okay, let's let it go. But the man was refusing to let it go. In the last video, you see him coming to say, look at you things that you call yourself women. What does my woman who has to do with anything? Again, if you are right, there is due process. But this had nothing to do with right or wrong. He had everything to do with power. He had everything to do with someone who feels he has the power over another human being. And it's unfortunate, again, to read some of these comments, but it's expected. Because we're all in this country when Major Mahama was beating to a pulp. We are in this country when we all shared videos and we cried and we said this is disgusting, how can this happen in Ghana? And if you remember, I did a video and said it can't happen in Ghana. It happens every day. And if you're being honest, a lot of you people have been unfairly treated by security officials. But because it's me, because you don't like me, because of your dislike for me, you are able to overlook everything the person has done and say, Lydia Forson deserves it because I know my rights. Yes, because unfortunately, it is wrong to know your rights in this country. But because I know my rights, I walked out of there, not arrested. I walked out of there with my life intact because if I had not taken out that phone, that man could have hurt her, hurt me. What you didn't see is it got to a point where one of my, our cameraman almost came blows to blows with him. But you know what he didn't do? Every time the men would come straight to him, he would not raise his hand. He would bypass the men and try and come to me that I've not raised my hand. All I was saying is, just let us go. If he had just let us leave, if indeed where we were, and I'm all for what is right and wrong, if we were really trespassing, let us leave, arrest us, follow due process. But again, this has absolutely nothing to do with whether we're at the right place, at the wrong place. It has everything to do with power, everything to do with, because you see, when a man confronts a woman in this country, another man, he doesn't say, look at your ugly self, that's why nobody will marry you. He doesn't say, how dare you, a man, talk to another man like that. No. If you notice, when a man attacks a woman, that is when there's gender bias. A man will not get physical with another man, but wants to get physical with a woman who, am I stupid? Why would I go around and try to fight another man? For what? I may talk like a tough girl, but I'm not stupid. But he will try to attack a woman because he really believes that he has power over her and she's a weaker sex, so he can get away with it. So in a nutshell, that's what happened. The lady who's the center of all of this, I'm sad that I've become the topic of conversation. I probably should have explained this all in my article, but I just didn't want to bring her unnecessary attention. But she's ready to talk. I was not there alone. I was my director. My co-actor, Sika Ose, was there. Several other people were there. The only reason why we're having this conversation is because I chose to share my story. Everybody has another point of view, but it all comes down to the same thing. The security official abuses power. 2, this is not about Ghana police. Please stop making it about Ghana police. I have some wonderful policemen in my neighborhood who protect me. It's unfair to judge a whole entity because of one person. But because people don't read, they have turned it into Lydia Forson against Ghana police. And then you see some policemen exposing themselves and misbehaving. This is not about Ghana police. This is about Ghana as a whole, the rule of law, how power works, how the law does not work, the lawlessness. And before I end, it's always okay when you are not at the center of abuse. It's always okay when it's not happening to you. You never sympathize. You always focus on the person than the incident. Any other entertainer in this country that you like, you'd have all gone like, what happened to her is not good. But you believe that Lydia is a loudmouth, which I am, and I own with pride, because I come from a long generation of women who are strong, who have never been bullied. And I will not apologize for knowing my rights and not allowing myself to be bullied, because again, it's knowing my rights that has helped me survive in this country. It's knowing my right that I have not been beaten. It's knowing my right that has not killed me. It's knowing my rights that again helped me walk out that situation, helped me protect the rest of my crew members, helped me protect the woman that was under attack. But we always sit down and think it's nice. We always laugh, slap each other on the wrist and say, yeah, she got what she deserves. But you're the same people when it happens to your mother, when it happens to your father, when it happens to your child. You come and run long past articles and say celebrities don't support. You cry, where is government? Someone should come and support me. Meanwhile, you forgot that once upon a time, it has happened to somebody else, and you thought it was okay. This is not about Lydia Forson. And again, if you follow me, you know that I never do this. Whenever I write an article, whenever there's a story trending about me, I just sit back and allow the conversations to flow, because I believe that once you have formed a perception about me, even as I do this video, once you don't like me, there's absolutely nothing I can say or do for you to like me. I cannot change your mind. So that's why whenever there's a trending story, I keep quiet. If I wanted attention, I'll be on every single radio station. I've had more than 50 radio stations call me throughout yesterday. I did not answer because I never want the conversations to be about me. One day I will not be on this earth anymore. One day I may have children, and they have to live in this country. And I want to be able to leave the country and the world a better place leave the world a better place than I came to leave it. This is my legacy. This is what I leave for the next generation. And maybe may posterity judge us all. Have a good day. And again, I'm sorry to disappoint you. That time has not come yet for them to beat me. If they had beat me, like you here, God bless you.